I said, is it tough? He said, yeah, it's a tough test. The first couple of questions are easy, like they'll have a lion, a giraffe, a whale, and a shark. And they'll say, which one's the lion, okay? And that's all the press covered, the first question. They didn't cover the last question. Multiply 4,733. Multiply times 7, divide, without paper and pencil, by the way, divide it by 4, add up another 37 and a half, 0.5, I remember that. And what's your number? How many people in this room could do it? Not too many. Or they give you 6 names in a row. I took a lot of heat on this. They give you 6 names in a row at the beginning. Sir, we're going to give you 6 names. Good. They look at them. A chair, a hat, a badge, a necklace, and they vote. Those things. We're going to give you 6 things. And I say, good, what's going on? Can you rename them? So I name them. Then they go back, and if you can do it in order, that's even better. I do them in order, perfect. Then they come back to you 30 minutes later at the end, last question. They say, what were those 6 things? That there aren't too many people, and they laughed, everyone said, oh, that's so easy. There's only about 2% of this room can do it, but I did it. I did it very easily, but I got mocked. They said, oh, that's so easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Go home and try doing it, okay? Go home.
That's Donald Trump speaking in Las Vegas, Nevada, about how tough the cognitive tests are that he keeps on taking. This is part of his stump speech. He goes around the country talking about how hard it was to take these cognitive tests and how great it was that he passed them. How unhinged, how disturbing, how embarrassing. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the Midas Touch Network. Let's take a look at one of the most unhinged speeches I've seen yet. Each one of these gets worse and worse, and this one in Vegas was just something else. Here, Donald Trump says there's no way he could have dementia because of his genes. There's someone in his family who went to MIT, who taught at MIT, so therefore, he cannot have dementia, he says. Here, play this clip.
Texas. And I said to him, you know, Ronnie, I'd like to take a cognitive test. I never heard of it before, but whatever it is. I like tests. I've always liked tests. Tests are very interesting. And, you know, I had an uncle. He's the longest serving professor, Dr. John Trump, in the history of MIT. Same genes. We have genes. We're smart people. We're smart people, you know? We're like Mr. Lieutenant Governor, we're like racehorses, too. You know, the fast ones produce the fast ones, and the slow ones doesn't work out so well, right? But we're no different in that sense.
Donald Trump then says that he was treated more unfair than Abraham Lincoln, and if the history books don't rank him there, they should say that Donald Trump's been treated more unfairly than Lincoln. Play the clip.
Somehow, it all works out. Somehow, people say, how do you do it, sir? How do you do it? I get 2 questions. If you had it to do again, would you do it? Because, you know, in history, they say the president that was treated the worst was Abraham Lincoln, but he had the Civil War, you know, so he had a little Civil War going. Abraham Lincoln. And Jackson was treated very badly, and a couple of others were treated. Andrew Jackson, he was treated very badly, and a few others. And I haven't seen the new list, but if I'm not number 1 over Abraham Lincoln, I will be very disappointed because I don't believe any president's ever been.
Here, Donald Trump praises MAGA Mike Johnson for blocking the bipartisan border deal, the toughest border deal in recent American history that both Democrats and reasonable Republicans have agreed to together. Has all the points that we've heard all of these Republicans talking about. But because Donald Trump believes that this is a winning issue for him to whine about the border, he has ordered his MAGA Republican stooges and coffee boys, starting with MAGA Mike, to block the bipartisan border deal. Here, play this clip.
I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. A bad bill you can't have, and that's what was happening in the House. As you know, the Speaker, who's, by the way, I think he's going to prove to be a very good speaker. It's tough when you have a very small majority. Very tough. Mike Johnson, Speaker. He just said it's dead on arrival in the House. It's dead on arrival. We want either a strong bill or no bill, and whatever happens, happens. But this is the single greatest threat to our country right now.
Donald Trump talks about making peace through Earth. Play the clip.
I know them both. And we will restore on this planet peace through Earth. I am the only candidate who can make this promise to you. I will prevent World War III.
Donald Trump reveals his plan to solve shoplifting. Play the clip.
You can solve that in 1 hour. All you do is 1 hour. You have to treat the first one out the door of the next time it happens extremely tough. That means anything you want to do. And as soon as that word gets out and you let people know, from now on you don't walk out with aspirin.
Donald Trump talks about securing elections like they've never been secured before. Play the clip. I wonder what he means by that. Play the clip.
We will protect innocent life and we will restore free speech. And I will secure the elections like never have been secured before.
Here's yet another bizarre cognitive moment of Donald Trump as he tries to describe the amount of troops. I think he's wrong about this in general, but just watch how he says it to play this clip.
We got Mexico to send 28,000 troops. Remember this?
Once again, Donald Trump says, as the leader of this party, as the leader of the Republican Party, I will not support a bipartisan border deal. Play this clip.
Maybe 8 times that amount. We cannot let this happen to our country. As the leader of our party, there is zero chance I will support this horrible open borders betrayal of America. It's not going to happen. I noticed that, and I'll fight it all the way. I noticed a lot of the senators are trying to say respectfully, they're blaming it on me. I said, that's okay. Please blame it on me. Please. Because they were getting ready to pass a very bad bill. And I'll tell you what, a bad bill is, I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. A bad bill you can't have, and that's what was happening in the House.
And now Donald Trump, the ultimate gaslighter, projection and confession, accuses President Biden of being a gaslighter. Play the clip.
So now Biden is trying to gaslight the American public by claiming that his border disaster is Republicans' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. Look at these great people, all big shot politicians. It's your fault. Even though we had the safest border, the best border in history 3 years ago, he's actually trying to blame us for the border. And I think it's just disgraceful. And that's what they do. They're a party of disinformation. They will take something and they feel if you say it over and over and over again, people will start to believe it.
Donald Trump brags that he came up with the terms caravans and fake news. Play the clip.
They said, we're not going to let you. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. I said, maybe millions, because the way they're coming up in the caravans, a name I came up with, by the way, I'm very proud of that name. I came up with fake news. Look at all the fake news back there. I came up with a lot of good names. Donald
Trump doesn't know how to say February. Play the clip.
So caucus on February 3rd. And if you need any detail.
A slurring Donald Trump falling apart before our eyes right here. Talking about, again, fake news. Play the clip.
Sometimes it's 100, 110 degrees. Sometimes it's some of these buildings weren't built for this, right? Crowds like this. And if I'm a little bit wet, they say, oh, he was sweating. He was sweating. I don't think there are too many people up here that wouldn't be sweating. Not too many people could speak the first paragraph.
What did he say there? A little dweet? A dweet? What the heck's he talking about? Here he says something about a Tapata Bill, Joe, thugs. Are there what's he? Again, just play this. Just play the clip.
By far. And so remember that when you go to the polls, and especially when you go in November. But on top of it all, Crooked Joe, and I call them thugs. They're persecuting Catholics. Anybody in here Catholic?
And look, Nikki Haley is going on the offensive here. She's speaking in South Carolina to a packed crowd. And here Nikki Haley talks about how unhinged Donald Trump is. Play the clip.
And what happened after that was a sight to see. Because on election night, We were super excited. We had moved 25 points in the 3 weeks leading up to the election. And Donald Trump was totally unhinged. Unhinged. He was a bit sensitive, and I think his feelings were hurt, but he threw a temper tantrum out on stage, seriously, threw a total temper tantrum, and was talking about revenge. So after he talked about revenge and had a little something to say about me, that's fine. We raised $1 million online right after he did that. Then the next day, Unhinged again says, for anybody that supports Nikki Haley, you will be barred from MAGA. So we had a little fun with that. We started selling t-shirts that said barred permanently. We sold 10,000 t-shirts. We raised another $1.6 million.
And here Nikki Haley talks about, all Donald Trump's talking about is me, 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 me. And he's not talking about anything regarding the American people. I like that Nikki Haley's going on the offense right here, calling Donald Trump unhinged, pointing out what a baby and loser Donald Trump is. I like that Nikki Haley's going on the offense. Play this clip.
Maybe it's fair, maybe it's not. I don't know. But what I do know is all that time that he's spending in a courtroom defending himself, he's not fighting for the American people. Like he did on election night in New Hampshire. Like he's done on his Twitter feed since he got the verdict. He has not once talked about the fact that he put us $8 trillion in debt in 4 years that our kids are never going to forgive him for.
Oh, and Nikki Haley says, yeah. And by the way, Trump tried to push people at the RNC to say that he should be the nominee. And when that didn't work, guess what? We raised another $1.4 million. That Nikki Haley's got some momentum right now. Play this clip.
Then he came out and he pushed the RNC and his people at the RNC to say that he should be the nominee and that they should push me out. And we said only 2 states have voted. There are 48 more that have to vote. No matter what Donald Trump thinks, he can't bully his way to the White House. It's not going to work. And after he did that, we raised another $1.4 million. So Donald, keep them coming because it's great.
I mean, look, the contrast there between Donald Trump and Nikki Haley could not be more stark. And look, I understand, obviously, the criticisms of Nikki Haley. But right now, her talking about Donald Trump's unhinged nature and going across the country and doing that, and doing it in the way that she's doing it, kind of powerfully and calling Trump out, you know, that's something to behold right there. I'm liking that right now. Tell me what you think in the comments below. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MidasTouch. Have a great day.
Into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Wheelie.
So, come on, what is it now, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah, I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I was so damn good on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What?
The
Who's the
Autobots cannot
insect?
protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
Ambush was just a diversion. Security teams bring up. Ravage, he's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. Boss readiness. What was his name? What was it?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We are facing a heavy sustained attack. They appear to be after the All-Star. Take a look!